Hey, here we are. Again, in the same mess that we were before. Nothing really has changed. Welcome. We're gonna pick up more or less where we left off last time, which was kind of a mess, as you can see from the printout. But that's the way it goes, so we're gonna start from where we are. A couple of seconds, I'm just going to pop this chat thing out here. I hope you can all hear me. If you can't, then let me know. My stats on the screen say it's dropping a few frames. Apologies for that. I don't know why it's dropping frames, but it should be all up and running. I'm using a crappy microphone because the one that I was trying to use wasn't working right. Let me try switch actually. Hey, thank you. Good to hear from you. And and it's back on again. Okay, so I am back with my normal setup then. All right. Good afternoon. I made it. It's a bit of a trip down the road from where I live to the brickyard. So my new location for this thing is a little. I don't just walk up the stairs and turn it on, but that gets me out of the house. So there's nobody else here at the brickyard. It's very quiet this Wednesday evening, and. So I have to share what I've been up to, and it's logging in. I'm connected to my Linux machine using a 1960s-ish, late 60s Teletype Model 33 computer terminal, which is the whole subject of our experimentation. Let's hang out and do stuff with it. Last time I was trying to get it to behave as a printer with IPP, and I succeeded pretty much and hit a wall, and I went home and Googled it, so I should tell you about that. Yeah, so that was really interesting. Here in the home directory there's I cloned this very nice little IPP server project from GitHub. Oh yeah, that needs some investigation. Why my file listing comes out so weird. I want to go fix that, and it may require more patience than I can muster. So we'll see how it goes. Everything's broken. Situation normal. Yeah, so the IPP server is really great, and it's a lovely little printer, and it's a print server for the Internet Printing Protocol, or whatever IPP stands for, or something like that. And it's written in Python, and it's. I cloned this project from somebody else's GitHub, and let me see if I can find this. Here I'm connected to the wrong window still, so let's go choose this one. There we are. Now you should see, yeah, this project here, I made a couple changes to it. To basically just, oh no. What's the oh no about? I don't know what the oh no's about. Everything's like, yeah, everything's oh no. Yeah, I made a couple changes just to make it a little more flexible, so I could put my own identity on it and my own graphics and so on. And with the goal of really digging in and changing the main behavior and being able to plug in behavior that was actually driven by PPD files, which are like printer definition. Best part of the show. Thank you. So yeah, so this code implements like a nice little set of Python classes, and I kind of extended it to read from PPD files that are to be stored in a data directory at some point, that are like generic printer definitions. And then I went home and Googled it, and the whole thing is broken in ways that I blamed first on cups, and cups is not the culprit. Cups is just a symptom of the brokenness of printing in the world, or something. I don't know. So, I'd played around with cups before and managed to get cups installed on my Raspberry Pi, and sending directly to the device. And this Python thing doesn't need to send it to the device, it can send it to a spool which I wanted, and then I can like write something that when you print a page onto here, it'll land up in a spool file, and we'll pick up the spool file just with like some bash stuff, and cat it to the output device. But when you do that, the what you get is PostScript, or if you're lucky, what you get is PDF, and that's what happened last time. That's why we got all this crappy printout. We ran the IPP server and connected some stuff to it, and then printed from my little MacBook, and it came out as a PDF file, and it dropped it on disk in the spool, and then I'm ready to pick up the PDF and cat it to the output device, and it's PDF, so it's not going to work. So this is just because, like, at some point, okay, my reading of the history of all of this is, for those of us who are around in the kind of PC days of the 90s, I guess, you had to install printer drivers, and printers got smarter and smarter, and they went from being like pretty dumb things like this, having ASCII, to being like the next level of smart, and having little escape sequences that can do bold, and like so the Diablo daisy wheels have nice little escape sequences that say select different widths, and do bold and italic and so on. And the Deck Rider 4 behind me that's on the shelf has equivalent little things that do different horizontal pitch, different vertical pitch, and then you got like general purpose dot matrix printers that could do anything, and then you got laser printers, and suddenly the laser printers did like high enough quality that it's worth describing everything with a page description language, and PostScript was wonderful. And then the job of people writing apps that wanted to print just became impossible, because like, how do you write an app that wants to do formatted text when all your printers are completely different? And some of them do ANSI escapes, and some of them do page description language like PostScript, and everything in between, and HPGL for plotters, and all of the so this the gap between this and the modern machinery was filled by the pain of print drivers, and I remember a little bit of that. And then it was fixed because everybody said PostScript is perfect, or at least PostScript is the way to go. And I guess, I don't know, you got to blame Steve Jobs for that, right? I don't know, Adobe or Next, because Next had this beautiful thing of like, we'll use PostScript for display, and Mac OS is the result, I think, of some of that. But it's like PostScript as a page description language is all through the UI, and it's a really natural thing to send to a printer. And Anyway, so the whole thing about IPP and page description languages now is that raw printers basically don't exist. And they're even where they do exist, vestigially, they're going away. And so we're going to deal with PDF and PostScript. So I need to reconsider. I'm not going to use this as a printer. Anyway. So that's really where we came to. I'm going to come back to it, but I'm going to put that on the stack. And I'm going to... I put some more stuff. I put some more stuff onto the to-do list because it was more fun. I mean, leaving a trail of destruction of half-finished projects behind it, like the word wrap stuff, and why does LS print bizarre things, and why can't I get this to be a print server? And these projects will get finished eventually, but not right now. I added a new thing to the to-do list, which is print some emojis, because I have opinions about emojis and what they should. Yeah. And it's a kind of a good distraction. So I was hacking on emojis at home on like my little MacBook, just to try and perfect the emojis. I don't know if you tuned in a couple weeks ago. It's lost to history on the printout, but there was I tried to print like a smiley face emoji, and it came out looking like the Death Star. So I have actually done some coding. Yeah, half-finished projects, totally the only kind that I have anyway. So I've done a little bit of a kind of creative coding on the emoji front. And if you've been watching the GitHub, then you'd have seen some check-ins recently on that. I guess actually looking at check-ins is a sensible thing to do. I wonder, there's two ways to look at check-ins, right? One is to go into your browser and like look at check-ins, and the other is to do git log, and git log seems really dangerous. Oh, does it have carriage control like backspace? It doesn't. It goes forwards, and you can do a line feed and it'll feed. If you're in local mode, it'll literally just feed the line. Actually, let's do that. If I switch to local, line feed feeds the line, and carriage return returns the carriage. And they are very distinctly different. But there is no backspace. What I've done is emulate backspace. Yeah, git log pipe head. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to do git log pipe head. So I've emulated a backspace like this. Git log control H and control H and then whatever you want to overtype. Yeah, you can carriage return and then space to where you need to be, but of course having like bash understand that. So the implementation that says turn control H into a carriage return and then a number of spaces is done in firmware on the Teensy microprocessor that I'm using for the USB connection. So this is current loop. The current loop to USB uses a Teensy 3 microprocessor, and there's a little bit of ASCII escape handling, including control H, that's done in Arduino code on the Teensy, so that when it connects to the Unix machine, Unix thinks that it supports control H, which it kind of does. But yeah, it's the long-winded version. It's the DIY. Let's work around the hardware version. And at some point, we'll spend some time fixing bugs in all of that Arduino stuff, because there's what's a target-rich environment for bug fixing. So isn't there a stty command that makes backspace / and then the erased character and keeps typing the erased character until you stop backspacing and then puts another /? Oh wow. There may well be. I have not come across that. But it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, stty does all sorts of amazing things, and I only understand the ones that I've tripped over. So yeah, I'd like to do a whole lot more in terms of making this behave like a smart thing. And if I can do that in stty instead of in custom firmware, then that's the better way to do it generally. But doing it in custom firmware is tempting, because you're there hacking on Arduino with a modern terminal and so on. Yeah, so right. Hello / OLLE / etc. would be the result of doing some backspaces. That is really cool. I've never seen it, so I'd love to see it if it exists. And of course, whether it really exists is going to depend on my Linux build, because they're all different, and certainly on Mac OS they've dropped a bunch of the old ones. But here I'm running Debian. Whatever Google's version of Debian Mendel has, because this is the Google Coral TPU machine. Overspecified. So okay, let's do let's look at the changelog on here. Instead of doing git log pipe head, there's no pipe. That character doesn't exist. I don't have a way to type it, and I haven't looked for is there an escape sequence that has the same effect. But instead, I can do head and then angle parentheses git log, which is like a bashism. And I'm not a super fan of things that are bash and not POSIX, but oh my goodness, it's got my work email address. That's weird. Okay. I did check in tonight, an emoji update. I wonder why it's picking up my work email. Please ignore that. Don't send me mail there unless you want to talk about software security. Okay. So git log pipe head is not actually kind of long enough. But I can do head dash. Well, I could just do git log actually. Let's try it. I can always interrupt it. I mean, on a regular terminal, git log, it pipes through something like less. And so I guess this is my last. Now is your last chance to say yes or bail. I'm gonna. What do you think? Because if I press return, it'll spew paper for a long time. And if I hit Control C and it still is going to spew paper for a long time. Okay. All right. We'll give it a few minutes and see what happens. Okay. Well, so next in the fun times department. There's a whole set of things about emojis that are quite amusing, and it seems to me a worthwhile project to print emoji on a teletype, which is the definitive ASCII machine and emoji is like the death knell of definitive ASCII. It's like, yeah, emoji. If you go down the rabbit hole of emojis, they are bizarre. I mean, first of all, Unicode is bad enough. I mean, Unicode's great. I have some personal history with it. It's completely great. Okay. So GitLog actually with this, basically piping through less, behaved right. It gave me a little warning, but that's okay. Yeah, so the big check-in that I did was yesterday. I was hacking on this last night, and I have no idea why it picks up my work email address when I check in. But there you go. The ASCII art routine, I'm using the ASCII art routine to take emoji images off of the web and convert them to ASCII art for printing. And I wasn't at all happy with the ASCII art stuff for two reasons. One, it made the smile emoji look like a Death Star in bizarre ways. I mean, first of all, it had like strange shading on it, but second, there was a big missing chunk, like a whole piece of the middle of this circle of smiley face was just not printed. It's just not there. I've got to dig out the printout for it because it was really strange. That, it turns out, was due to the difference between kind of not quite black and black. That it was way sensitive to, and this was like the whole ASCII art routine was super sensitive to the difference between kind of shades of nearly black, and then there was a region of this image that obviously been like copy and pasted or set to completely black, and it broke. And the ASCII art thing decided it was just going to print blanks. So there was that. But then secondly, it was kind of fuzzy around the edges, and so I went back to in here, in the ASCII art directory. I'll show you this because it's just kind of fun. The way that the ASCII art routine works is there's a big... Oh no, I didn't want to do that at all. I don't want to show the JSON because that's just unnecessarily large, and it's going to ruin my browsing experience and yours. I wanted to look at the Overstrike JPEG. So this is, yeah, it can come from home git config. I got to fix that. It's a little bit mysterious. Yeah. So here's the Overstrike JPEG, and this is a scan off of a flatbed scanner, and it's upside down just for reasons like accident. This is a flatbed scan of all of the characters that you can print on a teletype, printed onto a nice shiny piece of white paper. But I wonder, yeah, with my nice ribbon, and then scanned at 600 dpi or something. And it's a 2-letter overstrike, so along the horizontal I've got all of the letters and numbers, and then along the vertical I've got all the letters and numbers, and the whole thing goes like that. So you have this big like map of all the characters. So the ASCII art thing says, chop this up into little pieces, analyze every single character overstrike pair, and analyze them for orientation and luminance. So Erasmus says the backspace behavior appears to be OpenVMS and not Unix. Oh no. Well, we could always connect to OpenVMS and go try it. That would be really interesting. Yeah. that's definitely in the future. Let's add that to the to-do list and go find an open VMS system and connect. Connecting to all sorts of older systems is definitely on the list. Top of that list is the CDC 6500 in Seattle, because it's a real machine and it's one of a kind, and it runs Fortran. Anyway, you know, I have to beware of putting things on the stack, because then I forget what I'm doing. It's late in the day. Anyway, so yeah, I'm telling you this story of how ASCII art is like this slightly bizarre approach to ASCII art, which is, and we'll come back to vintage hardware on the machinery connecting side. So yeah, so I scanned I printed this sheet of paper and then scanned it, and the scan lines don't completely end up square, because mostly because of the scanner and not actually the printer, I think. But if you look at the top border, you can see that it's slightly skewed, and so I tried to correct for that in the software. But unfortunately, it's barreled as well. So if you look at further down the page, it gets worse in a different way. And so it's like you can't really correct for all of that stuff perfectly and pull out these characters and analyze them in the way I wanted to. So I spent a bit of time, and it struck me I could pick one character over here and then pick its mirror image over here and look at whether they're misaligned, because if they are, then I can just center it. So that's that check in there. That's that check in there. Is tweak the ASCII art prep thing that basically reads that image and turns it into JSON. Oh, if you were at the VCF Pacific Northwest, yes. I'm unfortunately the other side of the country, so I didn't get to go to that. But it sounded like a good event and an amazing venue. And I've never been there. I've been to the part of the, I forget what they call it, exploratorium-y kind of thing. But I didn't get to see any computers, and it was a long time ago. It was 15 years ago or something. But it's Paul Allen did a good thing, and all the other people that put that thing together. Yeah. So then I tweaked the ASCII art a little bit more, and then I also swapped out what emojis are the ones to use. There is a whole set of different emoji that you can find on the web, and I wanted to find some nice ones. And if I've done this right, it'll actually work. Of course, I haven't done it right at all, so it doesn't work. Oh, it's because my emoji script has a relative path in it. I think I just need to be in the bin directory to run this. So yeah, then I tweaked the emoji URL script a little bit. So there's two scripts here. There's a script called emoji that calls another script, a Python app called emoji URL. Emoji URL says, let's find the URL of an emoji. And there was so the source for them was this thing called Twimoji, TW emoji, and that I think is Twitter's emojis. Let me go find the code and share it. And then when it's printing, maybe we'll see a dog. Ooh. Ooh. I think we're going to see a dog. Yeah. So yeah, the image to ASCII basically says, let's go fetch the emoji image off of the web. And it's a SVG file, so it's a scalable vector graphic, and then let's convert that to a bitmap, and then chop it into pieces and match each of the pieces against that character grid to see which is the best fit from a luminance and a orientation point of view. And so it's matching against that 2-character overstrike kind of grid, and then it can print. And so that's because they're doing the orientation. That's why you end up with things like this, which is just scrolling off the page, and this slash at the beginning of the line here that I can't point to without lifting my fingers. That because there's a diagonal edge on the image, it's going to actually try and match a diagonal edge on the printout. So yeah, and then emoji are weird. So there are 2 Python libraries that I found that do emoji, and yeah, this looks like a dog. If you can squint. You have to squint a little. I think it looks perfect. I think that's perfect. Let's resize the camera for a second and show you the result of this art. And zoom. How's that? How is that? That looks like a dog. If you squint, I mean, my lighting is not too great in here. Sorry, the lights. I've got a shop light behind me, and I need to fix the lighting at some point. But yeah, it looks like a dog. It has shades of grey and quite distinct edges. Like, the thing that I'm really pleased about is that the edges are really crisp and follow the curve of the dog. So that totally is a dog, yeah. Yeah, mission accomplished. I've got an emoji printed dog. So I'm going to leave this zoomed out a little bit and try find the right orientation without dropping the camera, and try some more. Because of course you can try them in the shell, and it's not really the same. Like in a what do you call it? Like a SSH session from a modern computer, whatever you call that, in a terminal. But this is a terminal. Yeah, my regular computer doesn't do overstrike. So while it thinks about the cat, let's see if I can share my SSH session. Yay, that just worked. Oh, that's kind of cute. Alright. So, yeah, okay. Look! We're printing. We're printing a cat. Let's go print a cat. Yeah, if I say, like, emoji cat on my SSH session, then you don't see the overstrikes, and so you have to squint and guess whether it is going to turn out like a cat. So the thing I do want to share while the cat is printing is the rest of this story of the emoji, which goes like this. So I made the emoji command just give you like a random list of emoji names of a half a dozen emojis, because there's so many of them. And so it says, no, I can't find that one. Why don't you try any of these? So originally I had it print out like the most popular emoji, like a static list that's on some website, and they're all boring. Right? They're all boring because they're all circular. They're all like faces, and the faces I hope will work okay, but I think these ones are much more fun. So there's a cat. It totally is a cat. I think I could zoom a little. And adjust the light. It's a cat. And it has little eyes, and it has a little bow under its collar or something. It totally is a cat. So yeah, in my to-do list, I wrote a few that I thought might be interesting. There was, emoji skin tone too. Yeah, we'll talk about that one. In the to-do list, I thought dog 2, cat 2, because dog and cat are like faces. So if you do cat, then it's okay, it's great, but it's a face-forward cat, and the idea of doing a little cute kitten is much more attractive. So let me tell you where the skin tone 2 thing came from, because it is weird. I'm pretty sure you're right that skin tone 2 is a modifier. So the way that this works is there's a Python package. I forget the name of it. Let's see if our face forward cat looks realistic. There's a Python package that has like all of the emojis and the data for them, and also has the metadata that describes like the long name and the short name. So all of the emojis have like a full Unicode consortium proper name, and then they have a short name, which is the thing you see there. So these are all like short names, and then they get complicated, right? I mean, I knew emojis were complicated because they're up in the astral plane of Unicode, beyond the basic multilingual plane. But I didn't realize they were so like skin tone. A single emoji can be at least 4 16-bit Unicode characters, and I think maybe more than 4. I've certainly seen ones that are 4. That there's like an image and then a 0-width joiner that means it's going to turn it into another image. So you've got some of these kind of boy and a girl kissing, some of those things are compound characters. And then you've got all the skin tone modifiers that again you can just like string them together. And then you've got some other special modifiers. There's one called variations that I tripped across doing this, which is oh my goodness, it's a cat. That's not a bad cat, actually. I think that's quite a reputable cat. Yeah, that's not bad. The variations one is like there are some emojis that are like a letter in a box, and then there's a variation that says it's a graphical version versus it's a black and white version or something like that. It's the emoji have gone bizarre. But some of this list looks okay, and I had taco and wind blowing face. Wind. You can't quite see that, so I'm going to adjust the camera again. Emoji wind. Swirl up. That's better. Underscore doesn't exist, so let's use back arrow, which is the same thing. Wind blowing face seemed like a good one from my experiments. It's either a cat or a pumpkin. Now on the cat, can you see that these are all the letter S? There's a big patch of like solid color S, and that is the thing that on the Death Star version of this before was just dropping out. That some of the solid color regions, because they didn't have any texture to them, were getting completely dropped. And it seems to have fixed that. So yeah, so wind blowing face is kind of cool. It's classic. It's a good picture. There's others in here that might be interesting, but make any suggestions you want, and I'll. Pig nose. Menorah with 9 branches. Face with monocle. Man, man, girl, boy. So that sounds like one of these compound ones where the actual emoji consists of a whole set of things dropped together. Here we are. That's a nice solid overstrike right there. And I haven't even shown you what like the original versions of these look like, and that's because I don't have a good way to do it. I guess, I mean, the way that you can do that is say emoji Earl, man, man, girl, boy, for example. Oh, there was a mountain climber one that I came across. Let's go look at the mountain climber one if I remember. But look, there's a curly wind blowing. It's a actual wind blowing face. And if the ASCII art conversion is any good, then even some of the shades of grey, as well as the little curly winds. Yeah, it's a wind-blowing face. Totally is. I could be totally pleased with that one. Yeah. So here I was going to do emoji Earl, man, man, girl, boy. And then I'm going to do it in my SSH thing, because then I can copy and paste and put it into a browser and show you in the browser. Oh, yeah, okay. I can't really show you in the browser because the content type, yeah. But actually here, so it's, I thought we were going to get a nice little wind blown face, isn't it? Face blown, it totally is, thank you. Write in an errata to the Unicode Consortium. Yeah. But look, this how many bytes is that, right, of actual emoji? It's a 1F468 followed by 200D followed by 1F468 again, followed by 200D, it's like there's 25 bytes there. I mean, it's ridiculous. That's one character? It's not. It's like, it's a whole sentence as an emoji. So yeah, what else can we do? I want to indent these, and I haven't really tried that, so I'm going to try it. What's dizzy? Emoji, dress, scroll satchel, control lobs. Yeah, there's all sorts. There's a millions, and yeah, let's find some other fun ones. There was a climbing mountain thing. I don't know. It probably wasn't actually a mountain, so. Oh yeah, man climbing, person climbing, woman climbing. But I think mountain is a whole thing, so it's gonna go do the mountain. Ha. So what character set is allowed in the character names? Do they allow full Unicode? What a perfect question. If they've got any sense, then the only allowable characters are in the ASCII 63 character set, uppercase. But yeah, what a great question. Who knows? So yeah, I don't have a good way to preview these in the browser. I think it would kind of spoil the illusion anyway. It's like pop the bubble. Yeah, I'm going to do man climb or person climbing or woman climbing. There's like a party one, like a party popper kind of thing. I want to find that. I don't know where that is. I'm not very good at remembering the names for these. And maybe it's this one. Maybe it's ta-da! But it makes you wonder, what is woman with bunny ears partying? I mean, I don't think we have the resolution to get to the bottom of that one. Hey, that's totally a mountain. What does it say? It's got some letters in there and lots of punctuation. I don't know if that it would be really nice. They should be totally dog fooding, but you get into this like recursive thing of like, how do you define the name for the thing without just like putting the emoji that it is? Yeah, but all the names are in English as far as I know. Oh yeah, so okay, back here, this is my emoji tada on the older version of the code, and it's totally not working. So let's switch to the newer version of the code and see what happens. I have a feeling it's because this is this one in the terminal is running on my Mac, whereas this is running on my Google Unix machine. I have a feeling that tada is like a little party popper kind of a thing. And so let's find out. And the difference between this and this could not be more striking. I mean, this one First of all, I can't see the overstrike. Secondly, it's just wrong. Whereas this, can't quite recognize yet. Oh yeah, so I didn't even say what am I doing emoji for? Like, what's the point? So, one of the outputs of all of this process, and one of the reasons that I'm here at the Brickyard in Makerspace, is because I'm gonna, I'm framing this stuff. Here's my album art one. I'm putting these into picture frames, and they're going to go up on my Etsy store when I get my act together. And I'm going to have like a little show here in the art department. And ta-da! Okay, I think I recognize this emoji. So that's one of the outputs of this. And for emoji in particular, I have a plan. Wires everywhere. There we are. That's what I was hoping it was going to be. Ta-da is like a popper. Anyway, so yeah, for the emoji stuff, I have some nice cardstock, which I've got a couple different colors of this, and this is the dark one. And the great thing about the dark one is that it has a beautiful contrast against punch tape, and so I'm going to make some cards with punch tape against a background, and then when you open the card, on the inside there's going to be like an emoji printed out here. And so I'm going to take some of these and cut them out and stick them into the inside of little cards, and send them to people in the mail, because that will make their day. And in the face of imminent societal collapse, what else are you going to do? So, and I'm very serious about that. It's going to be so much fun. So, the emoji stuff is sized the way it is, mainly so that it fits onto a card like this. So it's like 32 characters across or something. And if I look at my sizing, that is just about right. And then I have another like parameter that's like dash indent, that'll indent it. So let's try a person climbing. Person underscore indent 40. No, if this is 32 wide, let's try 32 and see where it ends up. And I hope I got the indent thing right, but let's try it and see. Oh yeah, if you can hear kind of screams in the background, that's the roller derby next door. We share the enormous warehouse space that this is in with a roller derby. And if you're not from the US, then you may not have experienced the roller derby, but it's an amazing thing. It's exactly what you expect. You put on roller skates and go round and round and round, and hang out and eat pizza and whatever. So this is person climbing, and I think this is like one of the most super detailed emojis, because it has way more detail than we're going to be able to see on the printout. I don't think my indent worked at all, so that's a pity. I'll figure that out. And I think if I'm going to cut these out and print and put them on cards. I need some white space at the beginning and not just at the end, because white space at the end is not enough. So yeah, person climbing a wall. Yeah, there we are. Alright. Well, where were we on the to-do list? Because we ought to do some other, like, useful things besides just printing emojis. Hey, it really is a person climbing. How about that? How about that? Alright. I may have to adjust my OBS settings because it looks like I'm dropping more frames than I'm happy with. Way more frames than I'm happy with, so I gotta fix that somehow. I can't get faster Wi-Fi, but I think the Wi-Fi's okay. I can't get a faster Mac without spending lots of money, and I can't do that. So I may have to just dial down the bitrate or something. Anyway. Yeah, there we are. That's enough emoji for me to feel kind of pleased. I thought they all worked really well. And when I do these for real, oh my goodness, they're so good. The Tadar, oh, that's awesome. The wind-blowing face is pretty good. The cat is just so pretty, and the dog is kind of square-faced, but that's okay. Yeah, that's good. When I do it for real, I'm going to print on old stock paper too. This is new stock paper from Staples. You can order it online, and it came in the mail, and it's really dusty. It's like it's actually been sitting in the Staples warehouse or somewhere for 25 years because there was a half an inch of dust off this brand new roll that I'd ordered online and had shipped to me from like a major retail chain. It wasn't some new old stock. Anyway, I have new old stock paper that I'm gonna do things to get framed on, and so these are just like practice. But I am superbly pleased with how they came out. So back to the to-do list. There was a few other things on the to-do list besides that. Well, let's edit the to-do list. I think I'm in the bin directory. And I have this weird behavior with ls. I have this weird behavior with ed as well. Like, all I did there was hit the S key, and it's going to print my whole line again, or something. It's like, S? I don't know what's doing it. I don't know if it's my firmware. It can't be my firmware. It's got to be the STTY. But I want to say S/ new line and it's printing the whole thing again / dot space / so yeah, this is weird. What could possibly be causing my weird terminal behavior? Well, I don't know. But it makes my... Oh no, it completely... Oh yeah, no, it worked. My edit worked. It replaced the new line with a dot and a space, which is my little code for saying I've finished this to-do item. Let's move it to the end. Yeah, so this print thing is weird though. How about I try figure out what is actually causing it instead of just moaning. If I'm in this machine, my term now is xterm. And the terminal emulator that I have, the terminal type that I have here is TTY33. Actually, let's do regular old plain teletype, and then say okay, move to line 1. No. Oh, I didn't write it, that's why. I'm looking at a different buffer. S/ it's not doing any weird. It's not doing anything weird. There's no sign of oddness on the ls side either. Okay, so the obvious thing of, well, I don't know what that proved. So the behavior there is, I hit a letter and it repeated the last thing that it printed. So who would do that and why? I could turn off the behavior for my Arduino thing. That's probably a good place to start, is like set the Arduino to do the minimum possible work. Well, let's go figure out how to do that. In the firmware directory, my ANSI escapes handling defines a whole set of sequences, and I got some special ones that say turn on kind of pass-through binary mode. Oh, I'm in the header, I'm not in the C file. And it's not finding it. I should maybe open it actually in a text editor that works. Now I have a text editor, but I'm worried about blowing my memory budget or stuff. Anyway, what I was actually looking for is what are the escape sequences that I implement that are like, I want to turn off auto wrap, but that's not set by default. I don't have tab stops implemented, although that would be kind of cool. I have these couple extensions, and I want them on. Yeah, right, so the binary thing was only just to say for punching tape, don't do anything fancy with new lines and carriage returns, because the default behavior was I want to insert a delay by putting some nulls into the stream to get a carriage return so that I wouldn't overprint. And if you're punching tape, you don't want to do that because the nulls come out on the tape. And the same with the NLCR, right? So, I don't care about those ones. Yeah, there's nothing weird in here that's going to do other behavior. I mean, there is the backspace thing, and then there's auto wrap. I suppose I could do a soft reset. I could send it escape. I could send it the soft reset thing. I don't remember if there's actually a command in there in the term info that does that. Pling is2. There is. So if, in theory, if I say tput is2, does that sound realistic? Then it does a reset. Wow. Are you serious? No. No, that's weird. That's definitely weird. So, is2 I think did... No, this is just weird. Like... This is just weird. Let's go back on here, onto my SSH terminal. TTY33-AMX, tput is2. Well, tput is2 and pipe it into is2.txt, right? And then od is2.txt to dump out what's in there. And sure enough, I mean, if you cat it, then the terminal like responds. But 1b is the escape character. So this is doing a, it's sending the escape command. Oh, you know what I could do? I could do ls. So my ls listing here is fine. But what about ls through, piped through od? Let's see, is there anything weird that I'm seeing in here? Specifically, I'm looking for any 1b characters, which are escape sequences. And there's none. Okay, well let's try that on the actual machine. So I'm going to do it all in reverse, of course. I think I'm going to do it like this. Let's find out. Nested subshell. Oh, you can't even see that, sorry. grep 1b, piping the input to that from od-tx1 and piping the input to that from ls with nested subshells. And yeah, there's no escape sequences in there. Weird. So, how strange. ls has some behavior, like if you just say ls, then it gives you a listing. But if you say ls to a file or through some pipe, it behaves different because it's not a terminal. Because it says you're not a terminal, I'm going to do like single line things, but that still doesn't explain all the weird dots. Like all of this is just like, that's random. I have no idea where it's coming from. Pi asterisk, like there is no asterisk. There is no weirdness in my directory listing. Oh, there is one weirdness, but it's not a big one. And the one weirdness is that I've got a soft link. But this is printing perfectly fine. See, this is a link from lowercase ASR33 to uppercase ASR33, just because then I can be case insensitive. But the long listing is totally fine. The short listing was all messed up. But I think my thing of like pipe it through OD, I think that's a false test. Because as soon as you pipe ls through something, it says, oh, you're not a TTY. I'm going to do a long listing, or a one-line listing. And then the thing with ED as well, I mean, like in here, there's no ls colors, and if I'm doing the ls, I would see colors if there were any, and there aren't. And so I don't think I've got any color escapes happening on this thing. So why would my ls that on here looks totally great? ls doesn't really take account of columns. It ought to if it was nice, but I think if I like stretch my window, it'll just, yeah. So maybe it's wrapping. I mean, maybe it's like a word wrappy, but that still doesn't explain the weird characters that I was seeing printed. And it totally doesn't explain the weird behavior of the editor. Maybe if I do ED, let's append some text. So that behaved weird already. I just hit A and it like printed the asterisk again. And then here it did all sorts of new liney things. So that's weird. Okay, now what about if I do this silently and pipe the output of ED into a file? And see what happens, and it hit the letter A. Oh! 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 Really? Well, let's see if there's any escape characters in there. No, I've got a 2A, which is an asterisk. And a 20, which is a space. So there's no escape characters in there. There was some weird thing of the prompts are going to standard out, and the echoey stuff is coming out to standard error. So what about that? Well, let's try it again. Let's pipe standard error. And I see the prompt, and I hit A, and I got some slightly strange stuff, but that's okay. And I'm gonna finish that and quit. Okay. Oh no. Oh, sorry. Q on a command line. Oh, yeah, let's fix that. Yeah, let's fix that. It said JQ, command not found. And JQ, if you haven't come across it, is a really good little utility for working with JSON. And it's like grep for structured JSON. So yeah, I knew that this might be a little bit noisy, so let's do it from the SSH shell, not from the actual terminal. So now that I have JQ, I exited from the editor and I typed Q, and it says command not found. But I fixed that now. So the Q thing is kind of fun. What can we ask? What is the I want to say something like, what's the wavelength of blue? And it'll tell you. It's like Erasmus, thanks for tuning in. Yeah. So this is a little wrapper around Wolfram Alpha, so you can ask it anything, and it'll answer, especially geeky questions like what's the wavelength of blue. Anyway. Yeah, so I piped the standard error to thing, and there's nothing in there. What, really? There's nothing in there. So the weird printy stuff didn't come out on the terminal on standard error, and it didn't go into the file either. So the editor might be saying, is standard error a TTY? How do you debug this stuff? I may have to debug this just by I don't know. Anyway, I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I don't know. It's a mystery. There's some strange behavior and the editor is broken because of it. And who knows? I'm not going to fix it today. So anyway, I think I'm going to go home and get some dinner. Yeah, that was fun. We did some emojis. We messed around with the command line a little. The emojis are superb. So thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate you hanging out. I hope you're still enjoying this. I certainly am. And messing around on old computer hardware, as long as it keeps working, I'm going to keep doing it. And then, yeah, the rest of the to-do list, we have all sorts of fun things ahead. So we'll come back to those some other time. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Good to see you all, and catch you next time. Bye.